Hello and welcome to a brief introduction to using the Citrix computer labs in the College of Engineering at the University of Arkansas. To begin with, I'd like to introduce you to some key important information that you're going to need to use the labs effectively. That's a couple of different URLs that you're going to want to keep track of and an address where you can get some help. For most people, the first thing you're going to need to do is install the Citrix receiver on your computer. I like to use the analogy of Netflix. If you want to watch or stream Netflix movies on your computer, you need to have the Netflix Player application installed. And by the same token, if you want to stream remote Windows computers onto your computer, with Citrix, you need to have the Citrix Receiver application installed on your computer. And the way you get that is you go to receiver.citrix.com, and that URL will redirect you here. This will bring you to the most current version of the Citrix Receiver. And I would say that 99% of the time, that's all you need to do. Every once in a while, someone runs into a problem with the most current version of the Citrix receiver, and so we also provide this link here for the long-term service release receiver, and I'll just leave that there. You can type it in if you actually end up needing it. So once you've installed the Citrix receiver, then you're going to need to know this address here, which is the actual address for accessing the Citrix computer labs at the University of Arkansas. https://ctx-storefront.uark.edu. And then the final piece of information that you're going to need is if you need help, here's an email address. You can send an email describing your problem to ineghelp@uark.edu, and we will try to respond to you as quickly as possible. If you contact us at 2 o'clock in the morning, we might not get to you right away, but usually we're pretty responsive. Okay, with that information out of the way, let's do the Citrix receiver thing. So we're going to go to receiver.citrix.com. Download receiver for Windows. Save the file. And there it is. It's downloaded. You'll notice it's about 41 megabytes. Not very big. All right, once we have the Citrix receiver downloaded, we're going to install it. And here all you do is just take the defaults. And finish. A little Citrix receiver icon will show up somewhere down here next to your clock. And then we're going to use the Firefox web browser for this session. Once the Citrix receiver is installed, we're going to go to https://ctx-storefront. .uark.edu. And here you're going to want to put in your university username and password. And don't do the @uark.edu here, just do the username itself. Now sometimes if you're logging in for the first time, You might run into a page like this where it doesn't know if you have Citrix Receiver or not, but we know that we do because we just installed it. So just click on Detect Receiver and then click Already Installed, and it will bring you to the main page. Okay, from the main screen, you have three options. You have Favorites, you have Desktops, and you have Applications. I'm going to start with Applications. These are the applications that have been published to this particular user account. And depending on the user account that you're logged in with, you may see different applications than somebody else because it's all controlled by what department you're a member of, what classes you're taking, and various things like that. If you want to add a particular application to your favorites because you use it frequently, click on Details, Add to Favorites, and there it is. If you want to remove it from your favorites, that's all there is to it. And then also you can start the application. Essentially, the application launches the Citrix receiver. You may actually get a prompt on your computer saying, what application do you want to use? And you can use the Citrix Connection Manager or the Citrix Receiver. And once the application starts, you can use the application. Once you've used the application and you're ready to save your work, a critical thing to know about using the applications, since these are remote computers, we've created special folders for everybody that's going to be using these computers. So whenever you're using an application, make sure that when you save, you always save to the Documents folder. That way you'll always be able to find your work. Don't go saving over here to the C drive or some other place. Just save to the Documents folder and you should be good. All right, that's all there is to using applications. Applications are really good if you want to work on a single thing, a single application, give it your full focus. But sometimes you also need a more of a multi-purpose computing experience. And in that case, you're going to want to use one of our desktop labs. And we have several are available. Again, the labs that you see on your screen are going to be dependent on your user account, what department you're in, what classes you're enrolled in, and things like that. So I'm just going to open up this one here. It's going to launch the Citrix receiver. And inside the Citrix receiver, a computing session is going to appear. Now you can run this computing session inside this window that it presents to you. Usually what I like to do is run the session full screen. So I can just click on the maximize button here, or I can also say full screen here. It takes a little bit for the lab session to get started. It's got a lot of things that it has to do to get it set up. Um, it's got to configure all the applications that are installed on the system um, and get them ready for you to use. It has to map some network resources to your system so that it'll be available and things like that. Um, Whenever you open up one of these lab sessions, all of the applications that are installed on this particular lab computer are available directly from this applications folder. And all of our lab computers have this folder here. And if you click on that, a couple of things is going to happen. One is you'll see all of the applications that are available for that particular computer. The other thing that you're going to notice is that as you start using this Explorer window, you're going to get this prompt here that asks you what kind of access do you want to give, and you have some choices here. You can say no access, read-only access, or read-write access. What this is doing is it's asking what type of access do you want to give your computer that you're running at your home or at your office or in your dorm room, wherever you are. It's asking what kind of access do you want that computer to have to this lab computer. If you say read only, you'll be able to read files from your computer to the lab computer. And if you say read write, you'll be able to read and write files back and forth from the lab computer to your computer. If you say no access, you won't be able to do either one of those things. Generally, I like to say read write. What that does is it creates a new drive. This is the C drive on the lab computer. And this drive here is the C drive on the computer that I'm running this session from, which is the laptop that I'm recording this video on. And so I can take files, for example, from the documents folder, which is where we just saved our session from the application example that I gave a few minutes ago. I honestly don't know if I have any. Oh, here's one. I could take this file, book one, and copy it. And then I could go here and I could actually save it on the C drive of the computer at my house. It's a little tricky though, because you have to go into users, find your username, and then start looking for the documents folder. And then you could save it here. And you've actually copied the file from the university's data center, essentially is where it's stored, onto your local computer that you're running the remote session from. So that's one of the things that you can do. The other thing that we do is that we always connect the M drive. And this is a great place for you to save your stuff. Everybody has an M drive, and the M drive is connected to a server called Anger Docs, which is the College of Engineering document server, shares, and then whatever your username is. And inside there is some various things: documents, videos, pictures, music. You'll see different things depending on who you are and what you have saved in there. But under the M drive in Documents is where I saved the file from the application demonstration that I did a few minutes ago. Here's the file that we just saved. So if I click on Documents here, I'm seeing the same thing as if I go to the M drive and Documents. And this is really where we recommend that you save your files. There's one other place that you can save your files. If you've created a Box account at the University of Arkansas, you'll want to watch the video called Using Box with the Citrix Computer Labs, and you're also going to want to watch the introductory Using Box at the University of Arkansas. So that's pretty brief introduction to the different things that you can do in the computer labs. Just remember that all the applications are always here. You can open those applications directly by double clicking them from here. And they should launch and do whatever you need them to. Whenever you save files, you're going to probably want to save them to the M drive or to the Documents folder. But you can also save them to Box if you watch the video on how to use Box with the Citrix Labs. And you can also save them to your local computer if you choose read-write access when you first open up your Windows Explorer window at the beginning of your session. So those are the different choices of where you can save things. And then a couple of quick final things that I'd like to talk about is when you're done using your session, Please don't just disconnect your session. If you disconnect your session, essentially it hangs out for about 4 hours before it finally closes itself down. And just as a favor to the other faculty, staff, and students who also use the labs, when you're done using your session, please just go down here and choose the shutdown. What that'll do is it'll shut down the system, reboot it, and get it ready for the next person who needs to use the lab. And that's a brief introduction to how to use the labs. And just remember one more time, if you need assistance, please send email to ineghelp@uark.edu. Good luck with your semester, and I hope you enjoy using the computer labs at the College of Engineering. Thank you.